जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी। जय गिरिवरधारी। जय यशोदानंदन जय व्रजजन रंजन। जय व्रजजन रंजन। जय यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय कुंज विहारी। Vishnupada Paramahansa Bhagavata Ashtotra Shatichi. Divine Relation Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki Ramacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki all the rest of all the rest of all the rest Sri Guru Sri Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Canto 4, Chapter 6, verse 40. Satupalabhya agatam yonim Surasureshairabhivanditangri Surasureshairabhivanditangri Uttaya chakre shirasabhivandanam Arhatamas kasya yadaiva Vishnu Arhatama kasya yadaiva Vishnu Satupalabhya agatam yonim Surasureshairabhivanditangri Uddhaya chakre shirasabhivandanam Arhatama kasya yadaiva Vishnu Satupalabhya agatam yonim Surasureshairabhivanditangri Uddhaya chakre shirasabhivandanam Arhatama kasya yadaiva Vishnu Satupalabhya agatam yonim Surasureshairabhivanditangri Uddhaya chakre shirasabhivandanam Arhatama kasya yadaiva Vishnu Satupalabhya agatam yonim Surasureshairabhivanditangri Uddhaya chakre shirasabhivandanam Arhatama kasya yadaiva Vishnu What word? Saha Lord Shiva Tu But Upalabhya Seeing Agatam had arrived Atma Yonim Lord Brahma Sura Asura Ishai by the best of the demigods and demons Abhivandita Angri whose feet are worshipped Uddhaya standing up Chakre made Shirasa with his head Abhivandanam respectful Arhatama Vamandeva Kasya of Kashyapa Yada Eva just as Vishnu. Vishnu. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Abhay Charananda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Shiva's lotus feet were worshipped by both the demigods and demons. But still, in spite of his exalted position, as soon as he saw that Lord Brahma was there among all the other demigods, he immediately stood up and offered him respect by bowing down and touching his lotus feet, just as Vamandev offered his respectful obeisances to Kashyapa Muni. Purport: Kashyapa Muni was in the category of the living entities, but he had a transcendental son, Vamandev, who was an incarnation of Vishnu. Thus, although Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he offered his respects to Kashyapa Muni. Similarly, when Lord Krishna was a child, he used to offer his respectful obeisances to his mother and father Nanda and Yashoda. Also, at the Battle of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna touched the feet of Maharaj Yudhishthira because the king was his elder. It appears then that the personality of Godhead, Lord Shiva and other devotees, in spite of their being situated in exalted positions, instructed by practical example how to offer obeisances to their superiors. Lord Shiva offered his respectful obeisances to Brahma because Brahma was his father, just as Kashyapa Muni was the father of Vamana. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातान् सागना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते. तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्. Read the translation once more. Lord Shiva's lotus feet were worshipped by both the demigods and demons, but still, in spite of his exalted position, as soon as he saw that Lord Brahma was there among all the other demigods, he immediately stood up and offered him his respect by bowing down and touching his lotus feet, just as Vamandev offered his respectful obeisances to Kashyapa Muni. So I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas who have assembled here and online. And, definitely I don't have any qualification to speak, but I seek your blessings. With your blessings I will try to attempt something. So here from the past few days we have been seeing how the incident happened between Daksha and Mother Sati, and then how Lord Shiva invoked Veerabhadra to kill Daksha, and how all the exchanges happened between them. And then we have been seeing in this chapter that we are seeing the descriptions of Vaikuntha and how all the great sages assembled there in Vaikuntha under the tree. So, and discussing the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So here in this verse it is said that even though they were all the great sages or all the great personalities assembled there in Vaikuntha. So Lord Shiva is one of the greatest personalities. He is Mahadev. He is a leader of all the demigods, and he is also called as Ishvara. And Lord Shiva is also in some of the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, here and there, Lord Shiva is also sometimes addressed as Bhagavan. So he is not different from Krishna. So Lord Shiva, with that kind of position, we are seeing that as soon as Lord Brahma arrived, he immediately got up, even though they were in the discussion, he immediately got up and offered his respectful obeisances to Lord Brahma. So this shows that how one should value a Vaishnava. So when even in the Vaishnava community, whenever we see a Vaishnava, we should be so happy. We should be. I think Gopikakantha Prabhu, he was quoting, whenever we see a Vaishnava, our heart should be filled with joy. So if our heart is filled with joy and respect, then we automatically bow down to that personality. So here, because they were very advanced, and even though they have so many qualifications, and they are so respectful, showing the importance of the etiquette. So it is also mentioned in this verse that Lord Vamandeva, it's also defined about Lord Vamandeva, who is the Supreme Lord himself. So Lord Vamandeva is also setting an example by offering his respectful obeisances to Kashyap Muni. Even though he is Bhagavan, he values Vaishnavas so much by himself. So from this we need to learn like how we need to be so sensitive and how we need to respect other Vaishnavas. But instead of that, whenever we see a Vaishnava and we feel envy towards them, or we have some ill feeling towards them, then there is no point. There's no point of us growing in bhakti. I'm just speaking about myself because I don't have any of these etiquettes. So, but in the same way, we were discussing the other day, His Grace Rasik Bhuvi Prabhu was mentioning, the grace is only, we only receive the grace by serving a Vaishnava, not directly serving Krishna. So if we directly go to the altar, we might see the deity and we might think that we have a one-to-one relationship with deity, or we can directly offer our services to a deity. But the thing is, without pleasing the exalted Vaishnavas, Krishna is never pleased. So even though one is super advanced, the Vaishnava quality is that they respect other Vaishnavas. So that is the beauty of this Vaishnava community. So whereas in the material world, when we see that if we have some kind of qualification, people are so puffed up and they just want to satisfy their own position, and they just want to satisfy their own ego. So all the time the achievements and all for what people strive for is only that they will be respected in front of everyone. So if they come, someone will be valuing them. If they arrive, everything should be done in minutes. So to achieve these kind of things, people just try to do all the kind of hard work and get all the kind of fame, name and fame in this material world. But in spirituality and when we are advancing in bhakti, it is completely different. So there is because we are completely grown in this material world and we are completely associating with this material world, it is very hard for us to remove these kind of tendencies and to respect each and everyone, even though one is so advanced. So in this spiritual path, the real advancement is shown only when one offers obeisances to others, even though he has so many qualifications. So even though if he has so many qualifications, but he does not offer respects to other Vaishnavas, then there is no point of advancement at all. Even though someone like me who's making a show of some like I know this, I know that, but real thing is, if I am not respectful to other Vaishnavas, I am not humble, then there's nothing in me. It's just like an empty bowl. So it just makes some noise. That's it. So here we can see how there is a clear difference between how Lord Shiva, Daksha has misunderstood Lord Shiva when he did not get up. He just misunderstood that he is just so puffed up and is not offering respects to me. But in the same situation, it is showing the real character of Lord Shiva, where when Lord Brahma came, he immediately went and offered his obeisances to Lord Brahma. So that is the character of Lord Shiva. So he also mentions that he was completely absorbed in the meditation of Krishna and he couldn't notice Daksha coming into that assembly. So, but it is said in the next verses also how Lord Brahma puts questions to Lord Shiva, where he says he says he is easily pleased. Lord Shiva is easily pleased and he is easily angered also. He gets angry so easily. So the way Lord Brahma is dealing and the way Daksha dealt with Lord Shiva, there is a complete contrast between these both. So here Daksha is thinking that Lord Shiva is just his son-in-law and he is his father-in-law. But in originality, Daksha and Lord Shiva are both sons of Brahma. So, but what Daksha did, he was putting up some false identification, thinking that he is just the father-in-law of Lord Shiva, and based on that false identification, he is desiring some respect from Lord Shiva. So that is what happens when we get all these false identifications. Than identifying ourselves as servant of the devotees or servant of Krishna, then all these false identification develop within ourselves very subtly, and how they result, they will result in the same way Daksha did to Lord Shiva. So because of all those pride that was built up in Daksha, so he developed this envy towards Lord Shiva. So that envy resulted finally into a gross offense towards Lord Shiva. So that is why we need to be very careful that all these material designations, as Srila Prabhupada always quotes, for one to advance in bhakti, sarva upadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. So we need to give up all the kinds of material designations. All designations. The only designation we need to have is that we are just part and parcel of Krishna. We are just servant of Krishna and servant of the devotees. So we need to always try to meditate on this so that we don't get envious towards other Vaishnavas. So for example, if someone else is doing good, someone else is doing nice service, or they are getting nice recognition and all, we need to think that Krishna is using them as a tool because they are Krishna is using them as his tool because they are very sincere towards Krishna. They are very sincerely serving Krishna. So we always need to think that we need to be more sincere so that Krishna will be more pleased with us. So sometimes Krishna might use us to do nice service, and sometimes Krishna might not use. So we need to understand that whenever Krishna feels that he needs, we are just like a weapon, or a weapon in the basket, like when they used to use the bow and arrows, right? They used to pick up the arrows and shoot. So we need to consider ourselves one of those weapons. So whenever just like whenever one Agnyastra is there, Brahmastra is there, so many astras are there. So it's not that every time the archers use only one weapon. It's according to situation. One weapon will be pulled from their weaponry. So in the same way, Krishna knows when to use us. So we just need to be proper instrument in Krishna's hands. So whenever another material example also, where if anyone have any idea about basketball, so when the players they're all on the court, sometimes the coach comes and he calls out for substitution. So and then he pulls even the best players out, and then after some time they again gets resubstituted. So they will be sent into the court. So the manager knows how to use those players. So in the same way, Krishna knows when to use them, and for whatever service we don't need to fix our mind that I only want to do this service, I only want to get this thing because I want this name that I am doing this service and all. So when we think in that way, when someone does something nice, or someone advances more rapidly, then naturally envy arises. So out of that envy, definitely offenses happen. So we need to be very careful that we doesn't develop any envy towards Vaishnavas. So every Vaishnava, when one Vaishnava does very good in service, we need to be really happy. So we need to be happy from the point that they are contributing to the movement of Srila Prabhupada, and they are helping other souls, other conditioned souls, to come into this movement. That's how we need to think. And sometimes how our because of our false ego, sometimes how we think is, when we doesn't do things in the way that we desire, or when someone else is doing better than us, we might get into a conception where we start finding fault with the system, and we start finding fault with Shastra. So that is like, even though we don't have proper sincerity, because we are not able to achieve the standard of Shastra, we try to say that Shastra is not practical. So when we are saying that Bhakti or Shastra is not practical, then there is no point of us doing Bhakti. In the first case, Bhakti itself, if we see from the material perspective, but Bhakti itself is not practical. But any one of us is seeing Krishna. Who knows Krishna? It is just defined in the Shastras, and we are hearing from the pure devotees. So nowhere we can see Krishna, but still we are doing Bhakti because we believe in Shastra, and we take Shastra as it is, because Shastra is the authority. So Shastra is not some concocted thing. So not some kind of scientist trying to prove 2 + 2 is equal to 4. So we need to take Shastra as it is. But if you're not able to get where Shastra wants us to be there, we need to think that we don't have strength to get to that point. But it is not that we just say that Shastra is not practical, this is not how it works in the present day. That is not the way we need to see Shastra. Just like if Daksha, he just offended Lord Shiva, thinking that he is the father-in-law. He is thinking that out of so much pride that he developed because of all his material qualifications, he is just thinking that Lord Shiva is just some kind of an ordinary personality. So finally what happened, after so much dispute and all, what did he achieve? He just achieved a goat head, nothing else he achieved. And little his fame is lost. Whatever fame he was trying for, it is lost. So if we even if we, when we don't have strength, we need to be very careful. We need to understand that we don't have strength, and we need to act very carefully. Otherwise, it's just we will just speculate something, and we just say that we just give our own perspective of Shastra. Just like when it is written 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 in Shastra, we might say that no, how is it possible? That is not practical. Then how it will end up? Slowly, just like scientists, they say that no, God doesn't exist. They just spend millions of lifetimes or discovering about God, and finally they say that yeah, I think I made a new discovery, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So that is how it will happen. I mean, finally one needs to get to the point where Shastra tells only. So we need to be very careful that and understand that we don't have proper strength, and we need to pray intensely by serving Vaishnavas without envy. So when we serve Vaishnavas without envy only, we will get proper strength to apply Shastra, whatever is said in Shastra. So by that, because that is when Krishna is pleased. So when Krishna is not pleased, then there is no point or no way that we can advance in bhakti. So when Krishna is pleased, when Vaishnavas are pleased. When Vaishnavas are pleased, when we serve them properly. When can we serve them? When we don't have envy or any ill feelings towards Vaishnavas. So that is why we need to give up all the false identities in order to do that. So once we give that up, then only we can properly serve the Guru. So why we sing Samsara Dhavanala every day? We are glorifying our Guru. So we are identifying ourselves as a servant of our Guru. So we need to understand the lyrics in Samsara Dhavanala properly, so that we need to be able to sing each and every verse in Samsara Dhavanala in the proper mood, so that we develop that gratitude towards our Guru, and we develop that I am a servant of my Guru attitude. So by doing that gradually, then we can avoid these kind of offenses, and then we develop these kind of exalted qualities where when we see other Vaishnavas, we naturally get joyful. We naturally try to please them. So this is what I wanted to speak. I'm sorry whatever I spoke, whatever my limited knowledge, I tried to comment something. Please excuse me if I spoke anything wrong. If anyone has any comments or something, you can please add.
I really like so many points that made no sense in my mind. They're just sticking us. Yeah, I like that point you said, that is subtly when we offend devotees, that pride builds up. When we don't even know, when we become envious. Yesterday I was reading that Krishna killing Kaliya pastime. Sometimes I do is I was opening up Krishna book to see what chapter comes. Yesterday this chapter came. So I thought that Krishna is telling me this. So I was thinking, yeah, it's a cycle. So offend devotees and not become very happy with them is actually very, very slight this thing of envy only. So because of that envy towards devotees, then you don't get taste in the holy name. And your envy towards Krishna also, because the thing is, like, the very powerful point I'm realizing Kartik now. Krishna is the only enjoyer. So that's very difficult to digest. That some enjoyment, at least I should eat something nice, something somewhere. So Krishna only enjoys, that is a little difficult to digest. Saladhar Maharaj said very nicely. He says, this is a standard he practices. Never think about your happiness. Never think. So I was thinking that to serve Krishna, one has to come to that level that one should never think about his happiness. Then only Krishna will accept. It's like Shiva Ayurveda also mentioned it very nicely. He said that if you, like you're doing kirtan, if you like the kirtan, then it's like it's very same like suppose you're offering some bhoga to the deities. You ate it and then how will Krishna enjoy now? So there's a very heavy cooking. So yeah, so the thing is very nice. I mean, I was just thinking two things that as a devotee we need to cultivate absorption. One is we have to relish being a servant of the servant. Like we should relish that position. Like when we are low, we should relish that, not just officially do achievements. And second is, I need to find a deep taste in sadhana. Like you need to like when we are doing sadhana and we are alone, we should relish that. So if these two things we can relish, then yeah, we can be stable in our spiritual life, because those two things will never change. But everything else will change. Sometimes we may be head pujari, may not be head pujari, may be doing this, may not be doing class. So all these things are transitory. But these two things will never change in going. That being we can always relish the person being a servant of servant as a competition point, right? And second is, so these two things will never change. So
amazing.
Wonderful to lot of takeaways from the class. A particular point which I really like is when you said Krishna will be, we are his weapons. He is taking one weaponry when needed. One point I really like is like the other point is when somebody is doing a lot of service and we are not able to get him service, it's natural for a conditioned soul. Even though I'm talking about myself as a devotee, I'm a conditioned soul. I feel envy. To be honest, sometimes it feels envy. But when you that point, what I generally do is I will get this opportunity. Let me get the opportunity. We become more. Krishna is making me humble. Become more pure. Become more pure, then you will get it. Exactly that point I'm just connecting. Taking Krishna will use whenever I'm ready for the service. That is a very relatable Prabhu. And one important thing which I really like is when you said when somebody is doing service, you should not become envy. You should be happy because they are helping the conditioned souls to get into this process. It's really enlightening, Prabhu. That was really a thought provoking. Really,
I don't follow, Prabhu. I wish to follow that.
Enlightening is wonderful insights, Prabhu. So it is not easy, Prabhu. I understand. It is not very easy to become that level, but your thoughts will definitely in back burner that it will say, you should be happy always. Something thought comes right today, from today onwards, some envy comes right, but I will listen what you said and feel like I should be very happy. That thought gives nice feeling in your heart that I should be not have envy, should be very happy. So thank you, bro. Wonderful. This really uplifts me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah, it was a nice class. So I came in the beginning. So you were telling about the practicality of the Shastra, which is a nice point there. So people having a weak faith in the Shastras, they try to speculate, whether they apply their thoughts and their vasanas, but rather they have no weak faith in the Shastras. That's a very good point.
One point, Prabhuji, that you mentioned very humbly was that nobody has seen Krishna, but we have to believe in the Shastra. That is our goal should be. Whatever is said in that, it is 100% and then no question asked, 100% to be believed without any doubt.
Did I tell that correctly, Prabhu?
yeah,
Any correction there?
I mean, that's true. I just want to add one thing. Saladhar Maharaj says a very powerful point. He says that although Shastra is 100% correct, but Shastra is in the mode of pure goodness. So for us to actually understand Shastra, realize Shastra, that we need support of Guru. Because otherwise, like he said, we are in mode of passion and the verse is on pure goodness. So how will you understand? Like yesterday I was just telling one new person who came, I said many people know Arjun. I said if you are reading Bhagavad Gita means you should want to become like Arjun. Arjun is not just some karmi, do your duty. No. Arjun is a pure.
Prabhuji, after the end of the question, could you please repeat? We are unable to hear online.
Or give the hand mic.
Yeah.
No, you can just repeat what I'm saying. Sir.
No, you are the best person.
You can
Just
go there.
move closer.
Yeah, you can move closer otherwise.
No, so I was just saying that yesterday, two points I want to share. Yesterday, a new person came to the temple. So I was just telling, like, he was saying I was reading Bhagavad Gita. So I said, you're reading Bhagavad Gita means you should aspire to become like Arjun. Right? So who is Arjun? Arjun is not just some person who is doing his duty. No. Arjun is a pure devotee of Krishna. He has no envy. Do people know this? Nobody knows this. Right? So that's what is very important, that that's why without Guru we can never understand Shastra. So that's very important, because Shastra is mode of pure goodness. So to understand Shastra we need Guru. Otherwise, mode of passion, ignorance, we apply on Shastra and we think that Shastra is only speaking about this. So one more point also I want to share. Yesterday I experienced how powerful is actually this preaching process. I was just reading recently, Prabhupada is saying Krishna becomes immediately extremely satisfied. Very powerful words when you preach. So yesterday we went to Wayne State, no program happened, nothing, no one came. But we went to one place, we made one person chant Hare Krishna. American person, he's doing some work, so he looked like, of course I'm a crazy person. So he looked at me. I said, we'll just do some meditation for a few minutes, 2-3 minutes. He was not interested. I pushed him a little bit. Then he agreed. So I said, please repeat after me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. We just did that for a few minutes. And today morning, I saw the result of that when I was chanting the holy name. So the thing is, we should be, speaking about myself, we should be extremely eager to preach. Make people chant the holy name. That is the best thing you can do. Because Mahaprabhu says, anyone who chants the holy name once, he becomes a Vaishnava. And he becomes saved from all his. So we should be very eager. New people. Go outside, get new people. And make them chant, make them read, make them do a little devotional service, engage them. By that you become extremely dear to the holy name. So this is my practical experience from yesterday. In this month, everything we do has 1,000 times the benefit. So we should be like, speaking for myself, we should be extremely eager, and we should not just confine ourselves to our home and, new people. His Holiness Rannath Maharaj says, where there is necessity, the appreciation is the greatest. So these new people, they really need Krishna the most. Right? Krishna is really feeling their separation the most. So when we make them chant, Krishna become extremely pleased with us. Right? So this is one thing I wanted to share.
Could you please repeat where there is necessity? What is it?
Where there is necessity, there is a greatest appreciation.
There is great appreciation.
So when you you try to speak the holy name to new people, they will also feel great relish. They may not realize, but they will. And also Krishna will be very pleased with you. Because for them it's like a huge thing, like chanting a few mantras is a huge thing in their life. Right? So we can be very, very eager for that service. That is the best thing. Where in America, that is the greatest service we can do actually. Just make people chant, make people read. Sometimes in my little you can say insanity, sometimes I even tell people say Jai Prabhupada, say Jai Prabhupada. I feel so happy in my heart. So like we should Yeah, so yena tena prakarena, somehow or other, if we make people come close to Krishna, this is very, and Prabhupada says this is the, by this Krishna become immediately extremely satisfied. Because we need it, like for our sadhana, we need it. Like I'm speaking on myself, struggling in my sadhana, I really need help. This is the best help I can do to myself, forget about others, right? This preaching is the best sadhana actually. If you can make people hear the holy name, and better if you make them chant the holy name, that's the best sadhana you can do for yourself. So in this month you can be extremely eager for that thing. This is my
No correction. So many nice points. I think when you said we cannot see Krishna, Krishna is everywhere, right? So he is in Archa Vigraha form also. So it all depends on how we are trying to realize Krishna. Shastra is most important thing, as Prabhuji mentioned, Guru, and we have wonderful Radha Gopi Janvalba here, who you can relish also. So I want to share. Thank you.
Anyone has any comments or corrections online?
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Very inspiring class. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay, we can end it here. Thank you so much for participating. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Krishna Gopikakantha Prabhu ki.
Anantagod Vaishnava. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you so much. Very good.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna.